Hey guys, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make lasagna. This is one thing that my mom makes all the time and I swear that hers is the best lasagna in the world. So this is her version, but I put a little bit of a twist on it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make the meat sauce and then we'll move on to the rest. The meat sauce is fairly simple and I'll go over it really quick. You're just going to need some extra virgin olive oil, some chopped up onions and garlic. Then I have some San Marzano tomatoes, or you could just get regular whole tomatoes. You can get crushed tomatoes, tomato puree, whatever you want, but I like those. And then I have some ground beef here and some Italian sausage that I just tore out of the casings. Then we're going to need salt, pepper, a little bit of fresh basil, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and cayenne. These three are optional, but I like the extra added flavors. And this is also optional. I have a little bit of red wine, and I just feel like that makes a difference in the flavor. So with that being said, we will go over to the stove and get the sauce started. So I just have a large pot here that I put some olive oil in, and I threw both my meats in at the same time. And I'm also going to throw in my onion, just so that all cooks together. And to that, we're going to add a little bit of salt, pepper. And we're going to just brown this up until it's fully cooked. And if there's any oil that is remaining, if there's too much, you can drain it. And if it's only a little bit, it just adds to the flavor of the sauce, so you can leave it. It's up to you. Now that my meat's nice and brown, I'm just going to go ahead and throw my garlic in. I didn't throw it in before because you don't want to burn it, or else it'll be bitter. And then we're going to cook that just until it becomes fragrant, so about a couple minutes or so. So I just went ahead and drained a little bit of the excess fat from my meat. I'm just going to go ahead and add some red wine. Like I said, you don't have to do that step, but I feel like it adds flavor. I'm just going to let that cook for a couple of seconds. Okay, now I'm going to carefully add all my tomatoes, my basil. I'm going to add some salt and pepper, some garlic powder, Italian seasoning, a couple pops of cayenne. So we're going to let this come up to a simmer, and the longer that you let it simmer, the better it's going to taste. So if you let it simmer for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, it's going to taste way better. But realistically speaking, nobody has that kind of time. So if you let this go for about an hour, at least an hour, you can push it for 30 minutes if you turn it on high, but it's going to taste way better if you let it simmer for at least an hour. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to move on to the next steps. Okay, my sauce is done. It was simmering for about an hour. If you want to let it simmer longer, go right ahead. But for the next steps, they're very simple. I have some lasagna noodles here, and if you can tell, I did not boil them. This is one thing that my mom does. She never boils them. She just puts them in there straight like that. Comes out perfect every time. Then in here, I have some ricotta cheese and cottage cheese. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? You're not going to do all ricotta cheese? But I don't know what it is. My mom does this. It tastes the best out of everyone's lasagna I've ever had. Then I also have some eggs here. That helps bind everything together. And then I have a mixture here of mozzarella cheese and Parmigiano. So really simple. All I did was put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of my lasagna pan. And you want to just make sure this is well greased so that the lasagna noodles don't stick to your pan, because there's no sense in making something good if you can't get it out of the stinking pan. So now that that's done, I'm going to mix all my cheeses together. So I got the ricotta already in there, the cottage cheese, and to that we're going to add just a little bit of salt, not too much because the Parmesan is already pretty salty, pepper, and a little bit of dried oregano. Okay, and then to that I'm going to add my eggs. I know it looks like a lot of eggs, but my mom swears by this, so give that a good mix. Okay, that's nice and mixed together. I'm going to put that to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So now we're going to start layering everything up. First layer, going to do a little bit of sauce in the bottom of the pan, not too much, just enough so that the noodles don't stick. It's good. Then you're going to line your pan with noodles. You can slightly overlap them. Doesn't have to be perfect because no matter what, it's going to bake all the same anyway. Now to that, I'm going to add my cheese mixture. Spread that out. Okay, and then to that, you're going to add your sauce on top, and you're going to add your cheese. And then you're gonna start all over again. And you just keep doing what you did on the last one. Finish the last layer. And as you can see, I chopped up some more chunks of mozzarella because I like mine extra cheesy, and I put those on top. So now what we're gonna do is pop this in the oven at 375 for about 45 minutes to an hour. You want that top to be nice and crispy golden brown. So if it's like that at 45, take it out. If not, leave it in for the full hour. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Holy moly, it's heavy. As you can see, the beauty is done. It was in for exactly an hour. I dished myself out a piece, and I can hardly wait because I had to let this cool for at least half an hour, and I don't want to wait no more. I'm not doing it. Party in my mouth. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and if you want to remake this recipe, just look in the description below. I'll list all the measurements and the directions as to how you do it. And if you do, please tag me on Instagram. I'll leave the screen name right here. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Yummy yum. And my tongue.